The moments where you feel like giving up as a real estate agent, guys, believe me, trust me, I've been there. We've all been there. No matter if you're Ryan Serhant, Grant Cardone, or if you're just getting started, or maybe you're stuck in this little rut where you get a deal, you lose a deal, you get a few deals, you lose one, you're just kind of getting by, and you feel like this game and this business and this career just might not have been for you. Let me tell you right now, this is a part of the journey. This is a part of finding out who you really are as a person. This is about finding out what you're truly capable of. This is about pushing you to the limits, because this game is not for everybody. Success is not for everybody. Massive success is not for everybody. A lot of us say we want it, but until it's to a point where you obsess over it and all you do is think about it as much as you want to breathe. There is a famous line or a quote, I don't know if it came from a YouTube video or a motivational speaker. When you want success as bad as you want to breathe, then that is when you'll be successful. It is the truest statement I ever heard. I remember when I first started off, I was 21 years old, 22 years old in the game, very young, very immature. I was a late bloomer, I guess you could say, because I really didn't, get my together until I was in my mid-20s, early 20s. And I remember I was talking to my mentor, who he makes about $2.5 million, $3 million a year, has been for the last 10 years, has allocated a huge portion of that money to real estate, who's a commercial broker, so he finds deals, he sources deals, he invests deals himself. And he was like, so what did you do for the week? And I was like, well, I called and this, that, whatever. And it was Saturday at 11 a.m. He's like, well, what are you doing today? I'm like, I'm gonna play Xbox. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm gonna enjoy myself. He goes, you don't get it, do you? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you have not grown at all financially in the last 3 months. You've grown from experiences, you've learned a little bit, but the more experiences you have, the quicker you will learn, the faster you'll develop a skill, the faster you'll make money, the faster you'll get there. But you don't want it as bad as you say you want it. I'm like, dude, I just want to make 100 grand. It was like March. I'm like, I'm already at 15 grand. Like I'm kind of on pace. Like I'm fine. He's like, you trust me, dude. Even when you think you're on pace, you're not on pace when it comes to real estate. When you're in a sales commission based business, there is no pace. The only pace you have is how many times did you show up to the office? How many times did you cold call? Did you follow up? Did you follow up again? Did you do it no matter what? Did you get upset because probably a guy, my sales guy the other day, somebody yelled at him and he got all upset and it ruined his whole mood for 3 hours. I was like, dude, what the is wrong with you, bro? Of course she was gonna tell you to off. She doesn't know you. You don't need to care. These people don't know you. You don't know them. It's a simple transaction. Move on. Move forward. And that literally ruined his mood for an hour, which guess what happened next? He takes out that bad energy on everybody else moving forward. How do you think that works out? There's quitting in micro ways, and there's quitting in medium ways, and there's quitting in massive ways. You can never really truly quit as a real estate agent or a person, right? There's a lot I want to say. If I decided tomorrow I'm going to quit pursuing real estate, it's because I didn't give it my all and it got hard and financially it wasn't working, so I needed to go get another job to pay my bills. I still have to go work. It's not like I quit working. It's not like I quit going to do something I don't want to do. Like, now I'm going to do something I don't want to do for somebody else and get paid a fraction. So if I become a janitor, let's just say I become a janitor, I make 15 an hour, I work my way up to the manager, let's say. I'm working the front desk now, I'm the manager. And let's say I make a couple suggestions to the CEO and the business goes from here to here. Watch. The business went from making $1 million a year to $2 million a year because of one simple idea. Let's say it went to 1.2. The business, let's say it was at a 5x multiplier. If you guys don't know, businesses sell at a multiplier, okay? I'm not gonna get into detail about it, but let's just say a business makes $5 million in a career or an industry where the multiplier is 10, it's worth 50 million bucks. So if it went from $1 million, it's worth 5. Now I just gave this guy an idea. Let's say it goes to $1.2 million. Let's say the business now is worth $8 million. That $3 million that I created from my idea, I get nothing from, dude. Nothing. If I sit here and I cold call and I get that big deal, I get the big deal. I reap the reward. I get the commission. Does not make sense to do anything else outside of that. That's why you have a bad day and you want to quit and you're like, F it, I'm done with today. Or you quit the day because it just got too hard. Let's just say I quit Tuesday at 4 o'clock. You can take a little break, but you well never quit. There's times, dude, trust me, my first real estate deal ever, let me put you through the ringer. 60 days, I didn't miss a day of cold calling. Maybe, and then it wasn't a miss. I strategically, you need a day of rest. I took a day off on Sunday. You need a day of rest when you are, how do I want to word this? You guys should be working 7 days a week. You don't need any rest at all when you're not making 100 grand a year. When you start making 100, 200 grand a year and you start building some momentum and you start working smarter and harder, you can take a day off to yourself to relax. So I took a couple Sundays off. So out of those 60 days, I cold called this guy. I get an appointment, $749,000. Dude, 749 grand, $20,000 commission check when you're living at home when you're 22 years old. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. So I go, okay, I'm gonna go get this deal. I'm gonna make this money, whatever. I go over there, I get the listing. I end up finding a buyer. I end up double dipping the deal. I have the deal under contract for 600 grand at 4%, or 5%. All I know is I was gonna make about 50 grand. I don't remember the exact number, but I was gonna make like a good amount of money. So what is it, 6 times 6, 36? No, was it 650,000? No, it was 600 grand, I think 4.5% plus I got the buyer to sell his house too, so it was a triple dipple. This is what happened. Tell me you don't want to quit after this. I get the deal under contract, 600 grand, I'm double dipping. The seller told me the square footage was 5,000 square feet when it was really 4,000 square feet. The buyer was an engineer, he walked the property late at night, was trespassing. Rolled this thing around the house to measure the house, figured out the foundation measured 4,000 square feet. Told me the next day, I want 1,000 square feet or 1,000 times for $150 a foot, subtract that from the asking price, I'll give you $550, whatever the numbers were. I'll give you $50,000 less, tell the seller, if not, deal's done. And the inspection due diligence time frame was gonna end that day. I was like, all right, dude. Okay, mind you, I have Buddy's house, the buyer's house, under contract in 2 days. I listed it in 2 days, it's under contract. And I'm like, oh my God. The seller dies. Seller dies, dude. So I'm over here trying to get a hold of my seller, trying to figure out how to save this deal. And I call the partner of the husband. It was Brecco and Mark or John or something. And I was like, Mark, Brecco's not answering me. This is very important. I need to get a hold of him now. He goes, he can't talk. He's in the hospital. I'm like, oh my God, is everything okay? We don't know. Call me tomorrow. And I'm like, Brecco, I don't know how to tell you this, dude. Like, there is no tomorrow. Like, if we don't answer today, the deal's dead. He goes, give me an hour. Dude, this guy calls me back an hour later. He's like, Brecco died. I'm like, bro, do you have a trust? No, we don't have a trust. I'm like, who's gonna get the property? Does he have heirs, kids? Like what? No kids. I'm like, well, now what? Well, it's going to probate. What the fuck? What's probate? I didn't know what probate was. I didn't know what that was either. So now there's no trust, there's no person. My 40 grand's gone. I'm gonna make 10 grand on selling this guy's house for 300,000, cool. Buyer finds out, I call him, I go, don't worry, we're gonna find you something else, dude. Buyer texts me 2 days later. By the way, it was a Sunday. He goes, hey Anthony, do we have a buyer agency agreement yet? And I go, no. In writing, I text back, no, like an idiot. No, we don't. Walks into an open house that day, buys a house without me, and the agent who was sitting in that open house double dipped the deal. Tell me right there, you don't wanna quit. I've never been so upset in my life, dude. I've never been so pissed off. All of the energy and emotion of going up and down and around and going to this house and open houses and parties and events. I did like 2 parties and events. My family went there. I was so excited. My mom met the seller, my grandma, my sister. Like, I don't know what more I could have done. It was like the greatest accomplishment of my life year to day at that point. The whole deal fell apart. Look at what I've accomplished and 1,000 lives I've changed. 1,000 people I've impacted. Maybe more, maybe 1,100. If I include every seller, every agent, and the hundreds of thousands that follow me on social media, if I would have quit right there. It's more of your character, and it's more of the lack of potential. Dude, of course it's gonna be hard. Shut up. It's not supposed to be easy. Of course there's gonna be challenges. Of course there's gonna be speed bumps. Of course there'll be roadblocks. That's what makes it exciting. So let me just rip open the secret box here and open it up for you guys and tell you how the world works. The people that are determined, that are obsessive, that are consistent, that are disciplined, I would say those are the 4 or 5 characteristics that are absolutely necessary to win. Those are the ones that they don't get affected if they lose a deal. I just talked to my buddy he's probably making $3 to $4 million a year. He's got money, investors. He's looking at buying a $73 million deal. He could go make, I don't know, $2 million finding the deal and then he can invest part of that money into the deal and whatever. They could go sell that deal for probably like 90 to 100 million, like 2 to 3 years later. I go, dude, that'd be awesome if you got that deal. That'd be great. He goes, I'm not really banking on it. I mean, whatever. If it happens, it happens. I don't really care. He goes, I'm programmed. I already know that it might not. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I don't get excited. You have to build this tolerance that it's just, you call, you get yelled at, 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 no answer, F off, wrong number, no. Yeah, maybe I will sell my house. And then you go. And that's not a guarantee either. It's still not a guarantee. But you're closer. So you go, you pitch, and then you figure out how to condense spending 3 hours on the phone to get an appointment into one, and there's tools and there's coaching and there's people like me that'll help you get there. And instead of spending 3 hours and 300 dials, we can make it 100 dials. And then we can reverse engineer the math to figure out how many meetings that you have to go on and this, that, and the third, and whatever. But you can't quit, dude. There's so much that's going to happen in your life, even when you're winning, dude. I lost $5 million in appointments on Monday. Like, okay, next. Keep going. I don't care. I don't quit. I will not give up. I have thick skin. I want the next deal. I want the next biggest thing, and God's testing me. The world is testing you. The universe, if you're not religious, the universe is testing you. Can you handle failure? Can you handle opportunity? Can you handle a problem this big? Can you handle a deal of this size? Can you handle the stress of losing a $100,000 commission check? We're going to find out. There's a lot of moments where I wanted to quit, dude. There's a lot of moments where a lot of successful people wanted to quit. It's going to be hard. If you guys want to make more than 100 grand in your life, it's going to be very difficult, but it's not impossible. What am I saying? It's not hard to make $1 million, but you're going to be tested along the way to get there a lot of times. But if you're disciplined, you cold call every day, you network with the right people, you know what you're supposed to do. I mean, a lot of you know what you're supposed to do. Like, you see that girl, go talk to her, but you don't. You're quitting in the moment. You see the developer that's got the house and you don't approach him. You're quitting. You see the guy that's got that's for sale by owner, and you drive right by it because you're afraid. You're gonna have to fail. You're gonna have to screw up. You're gonna have to get to a point where it's uncomfortable, and then you're gonna get rewarded. That's how it works. Do it anyway. To conclude, if you guys are at a point where you feel like quitting, do not. There is no benefit that comes from quitting. You can lose. Hold on. Let me give it to you like this. Winners are losers who just didn't quit. Me, I'm a winner. I wanted to quit. I lost 1,000,000 times. I still lose, but I don't quit. So I win. You cannot fail if you never quit. You can't. You just can't. That's it. If you guys want to learn more, you want the real sauce, follow me on Instagram. I give up free game every single day. If you want to get real paid coaching from somebody who's sold close to, I'm going to be at $1 billion within the next 3 years, I'll tell you that. Somebody who sold 9 figures in real estate, who's made millions of dollars in real estate and sales, and you want to learn how to expedite your growth and fast track your success, message me in the comments below, or there's a description with a link in it. Click on the link, apply. My team will reach out to you, see if it's a good fit. If not, we'll point you in the right direction. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Leave a comment on what video you might want to see next. Share it with a friend, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.